Good morning, YaHUaH, Shalom, Bakatab, whatever you know of the language. I just wanted to, I've been running and moving quite quickly, so I'm a bit out of breath. And I'm full of joy this morning. And I just wanted to show you my view. It's a slightly different perspective of where I've been staying. I moved a bit further up the coast, and look at what Aba's baroqued me with this morning. And there's his sunshine. Oof, it's bright, shining down on me. And look, just look at those skies, those clouds. Look up it. I don't know if you can see them in the distance. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy by going around in a circle there, but I can't help it. I'm just amazed by the whole thing still. Oh, I love him. I love him so much, YaHUaH. I love him so much. And I just, again, want to drop a few words of encouragement. He woke me this morning with the lyrics to a song that I'd heard, well, that I've been listening to. I will say is an Exianity song. Not normally my choice of praise, but I'm going to be honest, this is one thing that Exianity gets right. It's their praise tunes and their worship. And this is where we should be doing more of this. Praise and worship is our warfare. And yes, prayer, yes, always prayer. Through your ruach and in supplication and whatever is in Yahuwah's will for us, for that to be done that day. I totally agree with that. However, not enough of us praise and worship. And he's teaching me that it really doesn't matter too much what kind of music that is, you know, give or take. Some secular music I really wouldn't go there on, but I do believe that he has dominion and authority over everything that's allowed on this earth, on these arats, everything that's allowed. So don't be ashamed of singing. And yes, I change the names most of the time. If I slip, I apologise. But I change the names on most of these songs. But going back to the one he gave me this morning, it was called Promises. It's by a group called Maverick City, which I'll be honest, they have some really good praise tunes, really good. I'm not saying I agree with the names they use, because I don't, but you know, he teaches them as he needs to, and we try to help by planting the seed. But we need to remember that's not our choice, that's his, as to when he brings them to the names. And if he doesn't, then that's him. But if they have a true heart for him and they're worshipping him in the way that I hear on these songs, then they're not far off where we're at, to be quite honest with you. And there's a lot of people in the way that I've seen that are far behind those who have a true heart for him, who are very judgmental, very prideful, very arrogant in their thoughts about who should be allowed, who's going to be condemned, who's going to be in trouble. We have no say in that whatsoever. We don't see people's hearts, good or bad, the way YaHUaH sees them, at all. So we just can't make that assumption, and we should never ever judge. It says that throughout the Bazorah. We do not judge. We help, we guide, we plant seeds. We dust off our feet if they don't want to know, but we don't judge. And that means we don't have a say in what they do and don't do in their lives. We don't get to persecute them if they believe something different to us. And I've had this recently, unfortunately. I've had this with a sister in the walk recently. We were getting on fine, we agreed with everything bar one thing. And I'll be honest, I left it for a little while before telling her that I believed this thing, because she'd mentioned it before. She'd said her views on it, which I didn't agree with, but at the same time it wasn't a deal breaker for me. And as I've just mentioned, I don't believe we have a choice in who gets condemned or not. That's not our reason for being here. But I knew that when I told her, things might change, and I was worried about that, because in this walk it's very lonely, and she was pretty much the only sister I had physically to talk to that was in the way. Okay, I speak to a few other people that are not in the way, but that are equally as loving and caring and believe in him in their own way. And yes, you know, they may not follow the feasts, they may not follow the calendars, they may not fully follow in the way we do, but you can tell, I think, you can tell those ones he's bringing to him. And we might be placed in that position with them to help them. Anyway, going back to the sister in the way, I was people pleasing a little bit again. I didn't want to tell her because I thought I'd lose her. And unfortunately, I was right. As soon as I told her, as soon as I mentioned it, I was barraged with messages telling me I was wrong, telling me, quoting scripture at me over and over and over and over and over and over, and I cannot count how many messages I received over the 2 platforms that we talked on. And it was overwhelming, and if I wasn't as strong in my Armour as I am, in my faith as I am, I could easily have been swayed. And I will quote, "A double-minded man can be tossed upon the waves," and I am not double-minded anymore. I was. A few months ago even, I would have questioned it. I would have, and I'm not unteachable either, so don't take me wrong on that. And I'd done plenty of research on this already, but if she'd have quoted something to me that I didn't already or wasn't already aware of, then I probably would have looked again. But I know what the Ruach's shown me. I know what Aba has shown me about this particular subject, so I'm not going to go into it because it's a contentious subject and I'm not there to debate this today. But it was surprising how vehemently and how judgmental, and then it turned into bringing other people into the conversation, which is where I draw the line, because that is ganging up on people. That is tantamount to witchcraft. She was already starting to become very controlling in her manner about this issue, and I wasn't willing to debate that, which I'd already told her. I'd already asked her respectfully to stop, and just, you know, we agreed to disagree type situation, but it wasn't happening. I haven't blocked her. I have come off of one of the platforms because it was just a bit too inundating the way she was sending things. I possibly will message her in a few days when things have calmed down, because it's quite recent. But we can't do that to people. We're supposed to be building up the body, not breaking it down, not causing offence on people just because it's not what we believe. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to serve him in whatever way he shows us to do it, and each way is personal. So yes, she may believe that, and I may believe something different, but I'm certainly not going to hold that against her as a sister in the walk, or anyone that's not in the walk. So, sorry, this started off as encouragement and has turned into a bit of a sermon. It's not meant to be, but I'm sure you get what I mean by this. And I just really wanted to say that keep your Armour. Remember that what he's shown you, and he speaks to us all slightly differently, as we know. Don't ever let anybody shake that. Just because they're barraging you with information does not necessarily mean they're right. We do not lean on our own understanding. We lean on what we lean on Aba, full stop. But we lean on what Aba and the Ruach have shown us. Anyway, Shalom Yasharal. I hope you have a wonderful day. This is the best start to my day I've had in a while. So thank you for listening to me, and Shalom. Have a wonderful Yom.